we're live.
Okay. So we're not having an official meeting. We are just looking at a draft and going to reconvene because people couldn't come today.
So which doc is it?
It says brainstorm for flyer and it's a slideshow.
Uh, did you send
Oh,
that
wait a
link?
minute.
Is it in a different folder?
Hmm. Maybe. Let me. What happened? Well, I'm just going to stick it in the chat and then I'll fix wherever it is. Can you open that?
Give me a second. I was looking through the email.
Mm.
I can. Let me share my screen.
Um, okay, so I just put in some of the things I found. I didn't find like exactly what I was hoping to find. I was just hoping someone had already made it, but
Right,
hadn't quite made it. But this one is just showing kind of what I was originally imagining, like kind of like the
like a compare contrast thing.
yeah, the
Yeah.
compare contrast. So that's one idea. And then if you go down to the number two, um, this is just I just put in a couple of examples of things I had found, showing like these are mostly as stormwater focused. But then if you go to number three,
Sorry, too many things open. I'm trying to clean up my window here.
oh, okay, no worries.
There we go. Okay. Oh, number three. Okay.
Yeah, so these are just examples of kind of like what other places have done around stormwater. And then it's not till you, yeah, there's one.
Okay.
Um,
And the city does have some stormwater content as well.
okay, yeah,
Looking
wasn't
at the Eva, who does the stormwater program. So I know she's got some handouts there.
okay, yeah, and that's part of it. Maybe we just put, get one of those handouts to have with our tabling. But then
Yeah.
if you keep going down,
Man, you made a lot of these. Holy cow.
well, I mean, I didn't. This is just from the internet. I didn't
Oh,
do
stuff you
anything.
pulled. Got it. Okay.
Oh
Got it.
yeah, no, I did nothing. I just
Like, wow.
um no, I just wanted to show like what was out there.
Got it. Okay.
And I was kind of leaning more towards not having the compare contrast. Like this one is kind of just showing the good things you can do in your yard. So I was starting to lean towards that of just having a landscape with like little things pointing to like what is climate friendly that people can do.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, I like this one too, but then since I hadn't
It's a
found
little
like
monochromatic, but I like the content and how they have a bunch of stuff you could focus on.
yeah, so that was one route. And then the other route was the next one was just kind of much easier to make. And this one, I'm not, the content is not good. And it's not like in line with what we're doing, number five, but it's just a simple, like, kind of like it doesn't have to all fit together in one yard. It would be easier to create. So I was
Right, because there could be just one-off things.
exactly. It would
Yeah.
just be much simpler. So I was kind of leaning towards this style. And then the last one number six, is kind of my,
What the spokes would be.
yeah, something
Okay.
like that. So that was kind of where I ended up going with this idea. And I just want to show you and whoever else joins, which is nobody, but seeing, yeah,
Yeah,
what,
I like the hub and spoke one.
because it would be really easy to make, I think, and not a lot of work.
Back to this one. I like this, but it is a little bit reductionist. It leaves some stuff off the table that you could potentially talk about.
Yeah, this was just an example. Like we would have to make our own.
Right.
Um, but it was an example of the compare contrast style of handout.
Wash your car on the lawn. Okay.
Protects the creeks.
Right. It's just, yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have that on ours, but this
Right.
was,
It's just a funny thing. Like my
yeah.
neighbors would be wondering what I'm doing.
But yeah, I think
I
I'm
think
leaning
either of the
towards,
I like either of these. I mean, I think they both have things that are they're beneficial. I like this because you can be a little bit more random. You could
yeah.
your pro foot be a little bit more specific and kind of tailored about it. I, this would probably be relatively easy to put together too, because it's a pretty simple landscape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the things that I put on there, and the next slide is just them as a list if we, in case we wanted to edit them.
Got it.
Number
Okay.
7 is just the same thing list down, but you know, we could have somebody weed whacking with an electric weed whacker, or
Right.
you know, a lot of this we could fit into that same type of
Yeah,
image.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like this. And I guess I'm wondering, because we don't really have the challenge we have as a city is we don't really have a website for this anywhere. Like we do have a little bit of our stormwater stuff. I need to go talk to her. Well, she actually just retired, but I'll email her and see if she's willing to point out a couple things that they have, or I can go through some of her files, some of her handouts, because I know that they have a lot of handouts. And there's other resources, right? Like there's things from Friends of Trees and other
Yeah.
things.
And there's some great resources from Beyond Toxics. They have some about pollinating plants. And
Right.
so I was imagining if we go whatever route we go, the front could be this image and then the back could have like resources.
Information resources of
Yeah,
places to go. Yeah. Okay.
that was what my vision was.
Okay.
Do you think we should kind of head with the using this one as a template because it's, you know, easier to do than to have a landscape that ties together, or should we go for the landscape because
I,
it's
I,
more
I don't have a strong preference either way. If we were, I can go, I'm at home right now, but I can go talk to one of our graphics people and kind of show them these two examples
okay?
and see like, how hard would it be to kind of pull something really basic together? These,
Hmm.
these look relatively basic graphically.
Yeah, they really do.
Um, and there might even be stuff from like Creative Commons that we could use as the foundation and just build from there. I don't know. Do you have a preference between the two? I don't have a strong opinion either way.
I don't. I was just leaning towards 5 because it just looks so easy, but I kind of
Wait,
like 4 better. So, yeah, I wanted to just see what other people thought because I think either one would be good.
probably slightly prefer 4.2 just because it provides the whole picture.
Hmm.
But like they have a few things I like in here. Like I like the material, landscape material one. Like there's a
Yeah.
few pieces on here that are interesting.
Yeah, and we
It
can
feels
make
like
it
you can
more.
maybe get more stuff on. I mean, I don't think we want more than like 10 probably, but it feels like you can maybe get a few more things onto this one.
Yeah.
That might be the benefit of this is, it gives you more thing like people may not do all of these, but it gives them like the one thing that's maybe relevant to their yard that they can like maybe focus on.
Hmm. Okay. So do you want to, for next steps, just kind of find out if we can
Yeah,
get,
I can do it this afternoon and email
okay.
you, just to get a sense of what kind of, if there's a substantial level of effort difference between the two.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then once we have that information, the next time we meet, that will be even better because we'll know exactly what direction we're going in.
Yeah, okay. There's more out there than I thought there would be.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot for stormwater just because it's, regulated and so many
Yeah,
pieces. Um,
right. And there's probably a lot of stormwater stuff that exists that can be pointed to.
hmm Yeah.
Okay.
Great. So should I delete the other ones like 1 through 3, 1, 2, and 3, just to clear it out?
I don't mind leaving them there.
Okay.
Because I actually think there might be like content on some of those that might be useful
Okay. Then we'll
that is
leave
maybe
them.
not showing up. I think there's a few things in there, right? That's, like John, when he's done some of his hits on KLCCs, talked about like moss on roofs and like, so there's other things that could be added as well. So he may have some thoughts there just because of the show that he does, these little radio spots he does.
Yeah.
So I think there might be things to think about, like, and maybe it's like, I haven't looked at this list yet, but there might be a large list to just start with, right? Just to gather, like, what do you think? And then you can
hmm
pare down from that.
Yeah.
But I think Lance, I think I'll ask, like, the trouble is like, you don't want it too busy.
Right.
So I think, probably 10. How many is this? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think I have 7
This
on
is,
the other one.
yeah, the other one had 7. This looks like it has 9.
Yeah, so we should try to stick between like 7 and 9, I think.
Yeah, I think 10 at the most. You could probably fit one more on here, but that's
Yeah.
probably it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. We have a plan.
Okay. Yeah. I think, yeah. I was curious to see what Alexi came up with because I don't know if there's as many on that side specifically.
Yeah.
But this could be a place to do that, right? Like you could, like you talked about, you know, you could have somebody with a lawnmower.
Yeah, I think we could just have, use electric equipment and have one example of an electric something.
Right. Okay.
Great. Well, I guess I'll send an email to try to reschedule.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, see what people say on that. We would need to, just let me share. We would need to, we need a week to notice it. So just
hmm
for planning, that's, but we're
Okay,
still
so
a couple weeks away from the next commission meetings on the 21st. So we were a week and a half away from that, or 2 weeks away.
okay, great. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Right. I'll see you later. Thanks, Laura.